what I'm going to show you is some of the work that we've been doing on the brand, which is kind of weird because Aaron hasn't seen it yet. So we're all seeing it together. So if he doesn't like it and you do, then that's good because we can override him. Actually, a lot of it is Jo's thinking that's kind of been happening as she's been working on the product. And when we first got together, there was a video where we had a bit of an argument, or no, it wasn't a video, it was a meeting with you and you, Kai, where we were talking about brand and how to kind of come up with the identity. And we were going, no, let's not do identity, let's do the product first and let the identity come out of that. And like a lot of traditional identities, you go, here's your logo, here's your colors, here's the system. Right, now onto the website or now onto the product, and it's a bit disconnected. So this is very much kind of come about through the product, which is more relevant. And I think if you look at tech companies around the world, from the cool ones like MailChimp to Google or to whatever, their identities are organic. It's almost like they've come up through the team that works there. So MailChimp has an army of designers, not monkeys kind of hoping to come up with the idea, but an army of designers who are bringing that to life as they go. I'm sure they just went, we've got this name, we've got this monkey head, and then it kind of evolves. And I kind of see Streamtime being the same, as in we set down some basic thinking, and then the kind of the culture and the people here have the opportunity to kind of make it become something that you want it to be, rather than being lumped with something that you're like, I don't know how to work with this. So the idea of all of this is that the get it done attitude, the to do done vibe of Streamtime, the personality in pop culture and the references that always seem to kind of pervade everything you guys do, Aaron's personality. We bring all that together, we turn the daily grind into something a bit more where work and life are seamless, they're easy, they just flow together effortlessly. And ultimately you want people to be going, why haven't I come across Streamtime sooner, versus is this going to work for us? When we first started looking at things like workflow, we went through a whole load of brands, and they all kind of blended into each other. You didn't know, you were like, is that going to work for us? That was a big question. Is this worth us taking this on, this other piece of software? You've all seen this, yes. Right? So there's a bunch of principles in this that we've expanded out. So you'll start to see things like the colors, the fact that we've got this fuck off big to do done piece in there. There's huge kind of hierarchies and big information and bold, and then we've got tiny Aaron. So some of this kind of aesthetic and thinking you'll start to see as we go through. So big versus small, message hierarchy, keeping it simple, and having a bit of play. Like, that's stuff that's going to come through all this. We've got a new typeface. It's not Helvetica. Hey. We're not the corporate six. We're not no. This is called Modelica. This is one you've tested, Pius, and it's a bit weird. It's got 3 A's that are weird, and it's kind of the characters within the letters. Even though it's like ultra legible, super modern, very much it does all the job of Helvetica in terms of clarity and simplicity, but it adds a bit of personality, which is kind of what you guys are, a bit weird. And also, it's built for global, as in it's got every accent under the sun, and it will never fall short of having enough characters in the kind of that you need. Typography, so how you put a word on a page, printed page, digital page, whatever, there are some simple rules that you can start to do, or plays that you can do. So from the to-do piece, there's clear things like stacking, so we can stack type. Then there's color, so we can have multiple colors within the type. There's scale, so small, big. And then there's obviously usability within the application and the website, which is it's got to be dynamic and responsive. We can use the blocks as building blocks to hold type in. So I guess I want to kind of preface all of this with, a lot of this it's not theoretical, but it's until you design a specific piece, you're going, could be this, and it could work like that. But until you go, right, we need a website that's going to explain this and this, then you go, right, is that right? No, maybe we need something more simple like that. And so you adapt it according to what you need rather than try and fit a square into a circle just because you've got it. So if you think about like corporate, many of you have worked for large corporations or corporate companies where they rule books, they talk about guidelines being like the rule book approach where it's my logo needs to be this size and why isn't that like that and this yellow is slightly off. I don't care about that stuff. I feel like guidelines they're a guide. They're not a rule book. And so they should set you on a path, but they shouldn't be shackled. So that's what this is. Ultimately, it's going to be. It's like, hey, look, this is how it could be, and let's see what we can achieve. Illustration. There's a whole load of illustration that's going to exist within the identity. So there's a playful world. We've got units of time. We've got units in life. So it's going to be built from units. There's this, you'll see how that goes. Minecraft and drugs. If you think about like you can create anything in Minecraft, that's what we can do with this. Pop culture, computer game culture, real world references to color blocks, building blocks within our world. That all comes in. Some of you have seen some of this, or Aaron's seen and Kai have seen a lot of these in the early kind of product pieces, and we kind of extracted some of those out. Things like, shipping containers. They're blocks. There's going to be animation in that. Pixel stuff relates directly to blocks without going overly pixel, even though I've got the Pac-Man ghosts. But consuming those ghosts, as Pac-Man does, is gratifying. It's like getting a task done. Same with loading a ship, same with shooting down space invaders, same with playing Tetris, same with playing Pong. There is a gratification of completing something. That's a little unicorn in case you can't see it, giving a big rainbow because you guys are going to be a unicorn company one of these days.
Unicorn.
And then and mazes and things like that. That actually says do because there's a big done thing. So anyway, that is like an easy, unlimited space that we can use this DNA of the to-do blocks to go anywhere. That's one area of the illustration. Second one is tiny world. We have a tiny Aaron. It makes sense that there is this kind of world, place made of these building blocks that aren't necessarily Lego pieces or pixels, but more they refer to that block. So here was a block on its side, thinking because it's an iceberg, and there's a polar bear because we're going to kill timesheets or they're going to become extinct eventually. We have a building, office block, very simple graphics using kind of light and dark to show people are at work. We might ideally would be the ones where the lights aren't on at night because we've got our to-do list done. You can have scale, so this is obviously like a bar graph. It's also a cityscape that have then clouds and a little plane going by. A goat on mountains that are made from the rectangles of the to-do list with clouds going by, and there's a flag in Streamtime colors because we're at the top. That is another part of the illustration style. And then the third one is Tiny Aaron, which I don't know how much you've seen because I didn't get to come to the tutorial. Okay. Matt wrote a Bible on Tiny Aaron. On Aaron. Personality, what his role is, how he works, all of that stuff. I've simplified it down into 2 slides. He's based on Aaron. He's complex, he's an evolving guy. It represents all the quirks and personality of Streamtime. It's culture. Going out to dinner with you guys, I'm spewing that I didn't come to the boat yesterday. I had to build this deck.
We know this.
I know. But the one thing I got the sense of, and I think we've always had that since the day we first met, was there is an immense personality and positivity and quirkiness and joy in this company. And so, down to Kiwis, I mean, starting from New Zealand, Kiwis are incredibly, I've never met a bad Kiwi. You haven't. Everyone's always everyone loves Kiwis. They're funny. There's, Anthony Hopkins, even though he's not Kiwi, played a really good one in the World's Fastest Indian. We all want to be that guy when we're older. There is a natural kind of reality to things. It's engaging. So, Tiny Aaron is helpful. He's observational. He's cool in a dorky kind of way. He's earnest, he's pop culture obsessed, he's larger than life, he's keen to offer unsolicited advice, prone to expressing himself freely, and usually gesticulating. So that kind of traits will then start to appear through how this character lives in the product, how he moves around in whatever world we bring him, however we use him. There's also, it should be said, when we created this character, we were going, how much do we use him? Because is he like the little kind of ghost in the machine, just this little character that exists that kind of appears when you need it, or does he become something more? We don't know yet, and I think that's the beauty of this. We have this character that, as we evolve, it might end up becoming like Dilbert, like the key part of recognition for Streamtime. We don't know yet, but just like Dilbert, all those comic strips on Dilbert, they always recognize stuff that we all recognize, and I think that's what Tiny Aaron embodies. He embodies the stuff that we all might think is just us thinking that, but actually we all think it, you know?
Yeah, and we quickly realized that what we did not want Tiny Aaron to be was Paperclip from Word. You know, that dude that appears there and you're like, just fuck off. That's the type of person, you know, like when it came to developing a brand character, it's almost like his role needs to be a smart role and that of like adds quirks but adds knowledge. So the more we're working with him, the more he's creeping up on us, and it's like you're defining him more as a character, and you're like loving him and kind of finding a better role for him in the brand. But that's when we'll eventually move and kind of concrete where he will play.
And I definitely think like we don't know how far it can go, and that's the exciting part of it. What? You wanted me to move on? Fine. Okay. So his sum of Aaron and his. Obviously, he's quite big there. He is going to be tiny.
He's Kramer.
That's him.
What's the one there? What's he doing on the right there? Yeah. Oh my God!
He's not doing that. He's just what?
Yeah, that one
It was
is
like
just
what? Idle Aaron.
Aaron's really fruity.
So you know the cool thing about all of these poses is, again, we'll just keep on coming up with new ones as we go. The character's going to have a life of his own. Then, if we move on, some of the other animations that we've been doing, you know, like this is to represent the time sheets, doing it time and time again. You know, sometimes just want to get it done. Then it gets really sucky. You know, but with us, we're ultimately gonna end it. So it's gonna be all over. It's gonna be so much easier. So then we have photography. So the other day, just at dinner, we kind of arrived and we were like, oh, we've had this little breakthrough, because we're working on this like now. It's not like we're going 2 weeks ago, we're going, yep, all done, we'll have this presentation now it's like, shit, by the way, we're presenting tomorrow. Oh, okay, what are we doing? You know, it never runs smoothly. You like go down these avenues, we were talking about this in the car, you think you've got it, you work down a stream for a week, and then you're like, oh, it's just, I don't feel it. Okay, back up, go this way. So, photography, we've definitely got some cool thinking on this. I reckon it's perfect. So going bold, no, it is. You'll wait and see, right? So going bold, it does have this pop culture kind of vibe to it. It's a twist on the normal, and there's moments of done, there's moments of completion that I talked about earlier. So if you think about social feeds, our Instagrams, we're all good photographers now. We can all do good stuff. If you can't, I don't know where you've been, because everyone should be a good photographer now on Instagram. We can also, the way you guys are with the videos that you do, like there is a sense that you all can contribute to this kind of world of Streamtime. So all of these shots, there are some very simple kind of cues back to Streamtime. Color. Okay, avoid the pink, but because we're using found imagery, but we'll be using simple colored backgrounds, like as in paper, that you just lay a sheet of paper and then you can kind of quickly do this kind of shot. You can do them on your phone, that's how easy these can be. There is this sense of completion, like knocking something in. We must have seen, I think there's a film where it's like to do with sex, and it's always like, like it's like Austin Powers or something, like those moments just as they're about to have sex, and it's like all the different montage of video clips. This is like, an ice cream melting. You can have someone like painting a wall, and this can be motion, this can be photography, this can all be, these are little stories that kind of say about the moments of done. I've got a video, you could see that as a stop frame animation as the pizza slices go, and then there's a satisfaction when things are done. It's like getting a bill and you've done all your bills, or you've got them off your chest, you're like, I can relax. So like there's a universal feeling that when you get something done, you feel good. So this can also be video. This one's a bit slow because it's in slow-mo. I know, poor egg, although I think it just escapes it. And it's amazing how simple these are, and yet you can build so much. And this can all be in our explainer videos and just peppered throughout the world of Streamtime. Like, this is satisfaction, right? I think there's one more. Oh yeah, there's one more. So, anyway, this can have a world of its own. You guys are on social media. Social media can be a big expression of who we are, like using this, creating these. I mean, that's just a couple of frames of matches being burnt. Or this one I like at the end. They've just cut out Street Fighter 2 and then just quickly kind of done it. Like, just weird stuff, ice cream melting. Or this is Streamtime. This is the old way, and that's the new way. All right, so again, you can see that there is a similar kind of style to it, but again, it is just a colored background of paper, and then the rest is easy. So I would encourage you to all think about some of the scenarios that we can do, you can do, and we can end up with a world of these. All right, and then we have an organized life. So again, there's a number of different kind of visual pieces and puzzle jigsaw pieces to this whole thing. Things like an organized life is what we now have. So there are a number of different metaphors for that, from food stacking to boxes to towels to Filofax, whatever that is. And then there's another piece which is product demonstration. So using real world, like it's nice to get, I know we've got a lot of illustration, as you saw with that photography, it's nice to bring it into our world, but with a quirk and a twist. This stuff is, we can have hands. I like when that hand came and popped the bubble, that's cool. Having things that relate to our brand, like there might be some colored blocks or some things like pencils and that, things that relate to the kind of the idea of multiple kind of stacking pieces, hints to humanity, again, backgrounds that have our color palette in it. And real props and stuff, like just stuff that adds a bit of human reality and weirdness to it, because we all have, I remember Joe's computer in Paris used to have like all this, 2 camels humping in front of a desk, like just weird shit next to it. So so we see that as being a good way to use in some of in the demonstrations where you can get a sense of what it is.
Also, I think nowadays people are used to, for instance, in the support side of a product, just you do a normal video screen, Aaron's the king of that. And but then how to add, a Streamtime personality to it. So it's easy. You can easily do that and just whack it in, not an iPad or a desktop or whatever. Or if you need to show something how it works, it's almost like you set the camera, it's like you have all the tools and you just like explain whilst you're talking. This is what you do. This is what you open and put it in. It's almost like, do not expect that this is all content that one person does. We actually are encouraging every single one of you to come up with great ideas and come up with, have the ability to do this, which is why we're making it so easy and so down to earth, yet so Streamtime-like.
All right. And then an example on one of the pages on the website where for support, and you can see the organized life, the color palette, the typography, big and small. Again, I've not done a whole load of applications, as in I've done none, because a lot of this stuff we don't know where it's going yet. We're going, and as we start to tackle them over the coming days, weeks, that's where we'll start to go, okay, that works for this, that works for this. Like, we're a digital product. Like, it's not like suddenly I can show you, I do a brochure for you and you know, go, and a business card and go, there's your new identity. You don't care about that stuff. It's not relevant to the users. All right, and then, so, what now? Where's the logo? I never showed you a logo. It's because we haven't done it yet, because it's not that big a deal. A logo will evolve out of this, or we'll get something. How do we do this is a big one as well. Like, how are you guys gonna kind of make this happen? Because again, it's all of us, and some of you have had the chance to start working with some of these pieces anyway. But again, as Andy's spoken to you about, like, we can all kind of work on this together. There's things that you can do, things that you're not going to be comfortable with. You'll get comfortable over time. Also, can have a tiny toy Erin. Who knows? We might 3D print one. We might try a few things. That would be great down the line to have something physical as a reminder. Be like one of those you were talking about, the bendy kind of things, or a vinyl toy that you get to paint different things on. Who knows? Oh yeah, there's another Aaron. See, look, he's all like, and we're done. So that's where we're at.